Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. Our guest today is the publisher of the China Post, Mr. Jack Huang. Mr. Huang, we've been talking about the competition among the media itself and also among media and international media as well. But one thing that has been very important is the so-called new media and internet in particular. How do you see the competition from the new media?
Well, the competition from the new media is everywhere, and no traditional media can avoid it. Be it print, magazines, or newspapers, or broadcast, radio stations, television networks. It's a totally new phenomenon. It certainly did inflict heavily on the traditional media business because the whole business model has changed. And one of the major problems is the revenue seems to be disappearing or diminishing from the traditional model, the traditional business model which traditional media operates. And however, on the other hand, the newspaper publishers or magazine publishers should realize that they are not alone, stranded in the mud pool of the digital revolution. Their readers, facing exploding amount of information, feel helpless as well. And keep in mind that our readers still have the same amount of information that they can use for readings every day, and they still also only have this same capacity to process the information of what they read.
That's right.
And it is still the newspaper's job or the magazine publisher's job to select the most useful and pertinent information for their readers. And at the same time, the newspapers or magazines should make all the effort to verify the news that they report, to make sure they're true, to make sure they're balanced, to make sure they're unbiased. And one step further, the newspaper publisher should make it absolutely clear that their only responsibility is to their readers, instead of making himself a mouthpiece for any business or political interest.
But as we know that the mass media used to be called the so-called gatekeeper, Yes. But the thing is that the gate is, is getting wider and wider. People can get access to information, any information they like. Do you think that media still have the role of as a gatekeeper?
That's up to the newspaper publisher or the station owner to decide which direction they want to go. If they decide that people or readers or viewers doesn't care this anymore, they could do whatever they want and go ahead, that's their choice. But by insisting on a code of ethics, which I believe a newspaper or magazine or television station, whatever media that is, will eventually win the readers' trust and support. And after they find out about the backdraws of the free media that's flooding the cyberspace right now.
That's right.
So eventually, by insisting on the code of ethics, by taking the accountability to their readers, will pay. Which is, I believe.
I think you have insisted on the so-called code of ethics, professionalism, and so on. But for any serious newspaper like yours, I think it becomes a very tough challenge for your newspaper to compete in this very sensationalized market, in this very, short-visioned newspapers like other newspapers in Taiwan. How do you compete with other newspapers, sensational newspapers, tabloids, and so on in Taiwan?
Well, fortunately, I'm in the English language market, which is not the mainstream market with only 3 English language newspapers in it.
That's right.
And I'm very happy to say that both of my competitors are not in the category you just described.
That's right.
So we don't feel that pressure. But I can feel the Chinese newspaper, the vernacular language newspaper, is certainly feeling that. So they call, they want to change their style. to their competitors by using more pictures,
colorful
by
pictures.
using more colors over their pages. They wouldn't say, they wouldn't admit they want to use more bloody pictures or pornos in their papers. But seems to be the direction is over that way. The standard that used to be the old standard is not hold anymore. Any pictures can go on can go on newspapers. But sometimes keep in mind, the reading public will make the judgment. Sometimes if a newspaper or television station go overboard, they'll backfire.
Yeah, that's right. The trend seems to suggest that the younger people don't read newspapers anymore. They just click on the internet and watch and read your newspapers, news from the internet. Do you think that's the case for your newspapers as well?
The cyber age kids read less. That's happening all over the world. It's not just a Taiwan phenomenon.
Yeah.
And we've seen some criticism from school teachers. Kids today don't write anymore. They don't even spell right or write a Chinese character right. Well, that's the situation. But keep in mind, there are still generations of people who prefer read than looking at the screen. And keep in mind, the screen at this moment is not as flexible as a paper, which you can carry around. You can read in the bus. You can take it anywhere you like. However, the screens at this stage, it's still less flexible. We've heard that electronic paper is over the horizon. It's coming. But we estimate that would take another decades or so to become real useful as a material for communication.
That's right.
For people to carry around.
I think the younger people are also in front of things that are more interactive, instead of one-way indoctrination and so on. How do you make your newspaper or your news industry more interactive with the young people?
I think there could be a very good balance between the traditional print and the internet. The readers are vastly different, and different readers need different information.
That's right.
It's for the publishers to decide which 20% maybe of the total news that you gathered would be of interest to 80% of the people, the 20-80 theory.
That's right.
And print those in a newspaper form, because the limited size, you cannot print all of the news you gathered. And for the rest 80%, put it on the internet and let people search. Let 20% of the people, the less number of people, they want the special information, go on the internet to search for what they want, for what they need. So the two media could cooperate with each other instead of cancel each other out. So that's that's a theory. Whether it works or not, I don't know, because as I said before, we're still experimenting. Everything is of experimentation in nature. So we have to go step by step and see what happens eventually.
Have you done any surveys or research with regard to who are the target readers of traditional print newspaper?
Traditional print media.
Yeah.
Still, people depend on print media pretty much. Our reader survey didn't show much change in our readers' profile about who read the China Post. We're still, let's say, 65% of the person who know both languages read the English language newspaper like China Post, and 35% depend totally on English language media for their news income because they don't understand the Chinese. They cannot obtain information otherwise, either from TV or from Chinese language newspapers. We still see that our readers are highly educated level, maybe 95% 93 to 95% are holding a university graduate degree, or even higher. Male and the female is still a little bit more on the male side, a little bit less, within 4%. It hasn't changed a lot. Maybe age-wise, that makes a lot the biggest difference. Maybe younger people, but we need to do surveys more from our print edition from the ChinaPost.com and see the reader's profile change. But one thing worth to note is that the internet is borderless. So over half of the readers that log on to ChinaPost.com every day comes from abroad, from overseas.
That's right. So these are the people who are also your targeted viewers as well.
Well, these are target viewers. These people need to know about Taiwan, what's happening here, and they need to use English to understand that. So they log on China Post.
That's right.
Advertising-wise, they're not much of help because advertising is very location sensitive.
Yeah.
If you spread all over the world, it's very hard to find an advertiser who are particularly interested in those people spreading out the world who are interested in Taiwan.
Unless they're multinationals. Yeah, but as we know that there are also cooperations among different types of media. You know, for instance, print media, broadcasting media, and also internet and so on. Do you think that's a trend to have this kind of multi-platform media cooperation?
Well, that's called a cross-media ownership.
That's right.
I remember in the school that people said ownership of media should be as diversified as possible in order to avoid a phenomenon called media monopoly. I don't know if that theory holds true today or not, because it's very difficult to stick to one form, one platform, and be successful in the media industry today. Yeah.
But as you know that the media in town, for instance, TV news stations, they read the newspaper for the people. And in some way, they don't even do their own business, the news. They just read the print media in Taiwan. Do you think that's a healthy way of running the media business in Taiwan?
Well, with newspaper people wouldn't like to see that to happen, because if you read our edition and people stop buying the paper anymore.
That's right.
There are also copyrights problems involved. And I think it's for the station owner to decide whether this is healthy for them or not. If they depend totally on other media or secondhand information as their source of information, in the long run, will people take you seriously as their source of information? They have to contemplate about that before laying off their journalists or reporters or photographers or cameramen.
Yeah. In comparison with the other media platforms such as TV, radios, and so on, what is the comparative advantage or the niche of the print media?
Of the print media.
Yeah.
Print media has the advantage of carrying long analytic type of stories. It can explain an issue very thoroughly with the advantage of running tables, charts, photographs. I don't remember the exact ratio, but if you want to read a full page of standard-sized newspaper on television, it takes about 22 minutes at least. And if a newspaper runs for 80 pages, it takes the television whole day to deliver that amount of information. In other words, a page of newspaper carries a lot more information than a newscaster can announce in an hour's time.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of print media. It can carry long and analytic and in-depth report. The shortcomings is time, because broadcast people can report news on an hourly news cycle, but newspaper reports on a daily cycle, and the News Weekly reports on a weekly cycle, and the News Monthly report on a monthly cycle. The shorter the cycle you goes, the less steps you can do on a news report.
That's right.
So it would be very foolish for a television person or for a news, for a real-time media person, try to compete with print media on the depths of the news.
That's right.
And the same hold true. It's very silly for a newspaper person trying to complete the timeliness of the story with a broadcast media.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the China Post is a newspaper, English newspaper with a very long tradition and very excellent reputation. And it was established in 1952. So when we come back, we will talk about your strategy to continue to compete in this very, getting tougher and tougher market in Taiwan. And let's take a short break. We'll be back in a few moments.